know I'm getting a lot of criticism on various in-state tuition, marijuana, but I feel vindicated. It was a big issue in the campaign when, as a candidate for governor, I meant all the candidates meet with various constituencies, and the broad range of constituents, from the Chamber of Commerce to the realtors to the Hispanic leaders. And for the Hispanic leaders, in-state tuition was consistently high priority for them. Mm-hmm. Some of these unfortunate youngsters that are not legal but have been here for many years, some since before they entered school, have gone through school and have attained good grades and graduated, but can't go on to CCI-RIC or URI at an in-state cost, which is prohibitive in many cases if they have to pay out-of-state tuition. Yes, they can make it. They can pay the even high in-state tuition. Mm-hmm. And so I looked at other states, and I know Connecticut has it, our neighbor. Mm-hmm. And Connecticut's not a magnet state. It floods in of immigrants because they have in-state tuition.
Do we really know how much it's going to cost?
Roger Williams University did a study that said it doesn't cost anything. And when you sort it all out, the social benefit of people getting an education, it outweighs. And also it's a fact, and if you look at where you see economic growth around the country, it's where there's educated populations. That's where you have your best chance for economic growth, and that's what we all want. The answer to all our challenges is economic growth. That keeps down taxes, because you have natural growth.
Should there be conditions plugged onto it?
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. You have to have attended school here for a certain number of years. You can't just move in and get in-state tuition.
Right.
So what do you say to the people who are sort of contesting this by saying, you're awarding them even though they're doing something that's against the law? What do you say to those people?
It's just a reality that we have undocumented people in our community. That's just a reality that I can't bury my head in the sand and ignore. Do I wish it weren't so? Of course. And I'm a firm advocate, and at my time in the Senate was vocal in support of federal immigration reform. This is not a state issue. It's a federal issue. And we failed to do that, as we failed to do many good things in the Senate. But there was a bill called McCain-Kennedy. John McCain from a border state of Arizona, and Ted Kennedy from a liberal state of Massachusetts, getting together, putting together a good federal reform immigration bill. It was a good bill. It didn't get passed. It was a good bill. That's the answer. Federal immigration reform to address the people that are here, 11 million or so in the United States of America. A path to citizenship, deportation of anybody with a criminal record. There was a learn English component. It was a good, comprehensive, tightened border security.
Medical marijuana in the centers. Where do you see this going at this point, and how are they going to sort of get themselves untangled?
Well, I inherited it. This was a bill that passed the General Assembly. I believe the Governor Kucheri vetoed it, and he overrode his veto. I think that's the history. And so I inherited the bill. And as I proceeded with the law as passed, which I took an oath to do, I received a letter from our federal U.S. attorney saying, if you proceed per the law, we find in violation of federal law, which supersedes state law, and we will not only shut down the centers that you open, we will go after any landlords involved in the property and any financiers that are involved, any banks that loan money for them to open their center. It was
so that seems pretty
unequivocal.
Right.
And so I, after many months of, I think the letter was sent in April, I finally rendered the decision, because these people depend greatly on medical marijuana, and I'm sympathetic to that, made the decision that we just could not go forward under that threat. And I was vindicated when California decided to go forward, and the federal government did step in and did go after landlords and financiers. They did exactly what they threatened to do.
But is there any movement, or?
And these are good, sound decisions in the best interest of Rhode Island's future.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue the decision is right, given the time frame that it happened, but then looking ahead, I mean, you have a situation where people are growing this stuff, you know,
The Department of Health tells
loosely
me...
controlled.
Yes, and the Department of Health tells me there are 2,500 licensed distributors in Rhode Island presently.
Right.
So for this small state, that's an awful lot. But the answer is, so presently, somehow, those that need medical marijuana can find it in one of those 2,500 licensed distributorships. So we have to get to a better system, and the way to do that is back to the General Assembly to craft a law that the federal government can agree to. That's the answer.
And do you see such a possibility?
Yes, I do.
So would your administration be introducing legislation to do that next session?
Yes, I anticipate working with the advocates.